If at first you do not succeed, try again. All right, so we should be live now, and we should have audio going real nice and all that loveliness. Let's see what's going on here. Yep, audio. That's it. So we got it. Your man is still hitting a learning curve, everybody. Unfortunately, I did not, as some of you longtime listeners know, and I love the fact that not every show is the same when we have these technical issues. I'm gonna leave this in there though for the introduction. All right, so as many of you guys know, I had abandoned Restream a couple of weeks ago, and I'm now with StreamYard. And I love it with StreamYard. These guys are awesome. I highly recommend them and everything. So, my learning curve is I got to remember to make sure that I add my mic and my webcam to the respected stage. Not to get too technical with you guys, but in order for you all to hear when we're doing shows like this, and or C, I got to make sure that I'm adding all of that to the stage. If I don't do that, then you guys aren't going to get anything. So shout out to Edward. I just happened to glance in the chat, and he was like, "Hey, not seeing anything on Facebook, not seeing anything as far as the audio goes on YouTube, FYI." So now we are good. But Tams, here's the funny part. When I get ready to go into post production, when people are listening to the show for on demand and on the downloads, they are not going to know what the fuck happened because I still have the audio that's been recording on the mixer. So I am going to do some very lovely splicing while also challenging myself to incorporate sweepers and all of that I was telling you about from the other day with that one assignment I was doing
Mhm.
For the radio production class. So, but we don't mind. I mean, we were only like 40 minutes in. We don't
Only.
mind. Oh, it was
Only.
only 40 minutes. I mean,
Only is like 5.
it was only 40 minutes. I mean, we're only missing a game, which they'll probably lose anyway. Let's be honest. I'm talking about the Washington Commanders. Lee Sanders here, Tammy Sanders here. You guys are checking out Wrestling with the Topics. Let me say this right now out in the open. Any technical issues, do like Edward did. Make sure you get our attention by leaving a comment. We can see where everybody is coming from, whether it's Twitter or X, Facebook, or YouTube. Just jump on in and we'll definitely show you some love. I'm glad that this is a two-person job when it comes to this show because it frees me up to do, because Lord knows, I wish I could have seen that sooner. But the timing wasn't that bad because it looks like Edward gave us the heads up at 12:54, and I think it was 1:03 by the time. So not too terrible.
No, not too terrible.
Not too terrible. But yeah. So look, before we dive into the show, yo, we gotta definitely show some love to the one and only Frankie Beverly from the R&B group, from the soul funk group Maze. He passed away this week at the age of 77. And me and Tams definitely stunned by his passing. I know for me, what was really most stunning is the fact that uh, the news coverage, the lack thereof between local and you know what? And I'm glad we kind of have a second take doing this show, this round, because one thing that I did not highlight is the fact that when you talk about Philly, when you talk about Washington, DC, when you talk about Maryland, when you talk about Virginia, when you talk about Atlanta, when you talk about Georgia, when you talk about Mississippi, hell, even Tennessee, Maze is loved. Maze with Frankie Beverly is loved. And for those of you that are not familiar with the band, I definitely promise you, if you go and you did a YouTube or a Spotify, assuming you got Spotify, do one of those searches and you type in Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. You play just a couple of seconds of the songs, their most popular songs. You will instantly go, oh yeah, 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 I know that song. Or you'll go, yeah, I used to bob to that joint back in the day. The band definitely provided the soundtrack of our lives. Whether you want to talk, uh, happy feelings, before I let go, Southern Girl, Silky Soul, my personal favorite, which is After the Morning After. And I remember, true story, I remember when I was much younger, a little runt during that time. One of the first times I came across Maze was through music video. And one of the first music videos I saw that made me a big fan of theirs was After the Morning After. And right down to the point, I remember when I got a little bit older. I don't know how many remember this because I know we have some younger listeners that's out there, but for my older listeners, I can remember many a time. You definitely will remember this. Remember BET Soul?
Yeah.
Man, I used to love watching that. I would just sometimes I would put that on every night and I would just unwind for I think it was typically on what, like an hour or something
Mm-hmm.
that it was on. And I
Generally, it's an hour.
yeah, I was dedicated though. I would always go to that and I would because I was trying to find out what's going on with R&B and jazz because some of the music that I was hearing, around then, it pretty much was get your Glocks up in the air, shoot them bitches like you don't care, got my mind on my money, yo, bitch, drop to your ass and give me head, yo. And it was kind of like, I can only tolerate that, but so long because that's how like every single music video was back in the day, and the
Yep.
women barely were wearing
Anything.
anything, and they're just ass cheeks all up in the camera,
Mm-hmm.
lyrics worth of ain't worth shit,
Yeah.
all it basically was every single music video back then, 90s going into the early 2000s. Every single music video was practically the same. It was, I got money, here it is, I'm flaunting it, money, money, look at the cars, look at the cars, look at the women shaking their asses, ha ha. So, I gravitated towards stuff like BET Soul. And I was like, okay, yeah, what's going on with the R&B? What's going on with the soul? What's going on with the jazz? And I used to always see Maze on there because that was like one of the first, So when I got older, it was like, yeah, let me just stick to this and all that. So a lot of good feelings, happy feelings. See what I did there? I'll stop. Cut it out. I got it. I got it. But you know, um, that band, love that band. I still push them to this day.
Mm-hmm.
I would challenge anybody, like it doesn't matter what album you pick up from them. My personal favorite though is Back to Basics because that's got After the Morning After. It's got Laid Back. I'm a laid back kind of guy. It's got that song on there. That album you can listen to any album, but that particular album, the Back to Basics album, I think it's from 1993. You can listen to that from beginning to end to the middle. Great freaking album. But yeah, the lack of coverage from local news. Like I thought for sure when I turned on the news that night that the announcement was made, he passed away, I was gonna be, seeing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because definitely here's why I'm going on and on and on about this. Just like how here in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, Chuck Brown, the godfather of go-go, meant so much to us here.
Mm-hmm.
Maze featuring Frankie Beverly meant as much. Like right down to the point, I would not be surprised if someone were to tell me as a DC native, because I've yet to see the mural in person. I would not be surprised if somebody were to say to me, "Yeah, Lee, to your point, Frankie Beverly is actually on the Ben's Chili Bowl mural out there off U Street." Because that's how incorporated his music and everything was in our lives and all that. So it really stunned me to see when I turned on my local news that acknowledgement. Oh, bless you, honey.
Excuse me, sorry.
Stunned me to see that his passing, it wasn't acknowledged. And then I go to the cable news media outlets. It's pretty much the same thing, with the exception of one guy who is on CNN on the weekends. He's an anchor on the weekends. He's got his own respected show. Victor something. I can't think of his last name right now, but he kicked things off with his respected 1 hour, 2 hour show mentioning the passing. And I just said, "Oh, thank you. Somebody understands how I'm feeling out there.
Mhm.
Somebody knows what I'm talking about here." Their albums might have not been in a situation where they won Grammys, but a lot of Maze fans, including yours truly, will definitely say, "Yo, they definitely should have won." Yeah, there definitely should have been some strong nominations. They definitely should have won, but they didn't. And it's so funny because I remember when we went on our honeymoon weekend. True story, guys. Down in southwest, no, southeast. No, it's southwest. It's southwest DC. The waterfront. Anybody that knows the area well, you can get on a little cruise down there at the
Yeah, basically,
waterfront.
it's a dinner
It's
cruise.
a dinner cruise. You can go there. Everything's one level. So it's not like you can go to the top or go to the bottom. Everything is just one level.
Mhm.
You can sit down. You can have yourself a nice drink. You can eat some really nice food, all that good stuff. And you're on that boat for like about 3 hours, give or take. And I remember when we had partaked in that,
Mhm.
the DJ that we had, he played Before I Let Go. And
Mhm.
I remember there was an entourage that was there. They all wore white. I agree. I agree. White is a bad color. Yeah, my daughter's saying, yeah, hey, white's a bad color. White is a very bad color. Lord, it sounds like somebody don't did something wrong in here. Damn, I'm about to release the hounds. I'm about to release the hounds. Take over. It's live, pal. It happens. I said, take over. Go.
I guess I'm laughing. All right, guys.
Oh,
So,
shit.
it is that time of the day.
Yeah.
Wasn't there the May song "Golden Time of Day"?
There is. That's one of the songs too. Uh,
So it is that time of day.
when Nana comes home, it's that time to release the dogs.
It's just that. Yeah, it's just that golden time of day for sure. So, in reference to, I find it poignant that for him to do his farewell tour, and having it end in Philadelphia since he was born and born there, was pretty poignant as as a kind of a full circle. But my condolences to friends, family, and even people who essentially were a real big fan of the Frankie Beverly and May's music.
Mhm.
Everybody has their, especially in this area, the hey, I was here when, I was there when, and making light of it, in reference to every black picnic in this area at one point or another. You're hearing one or more.
You gotta let her out, babe.
I'm trying to.
You let her go. Let her go. Just let her do her thing.
Go ahead, mommy.
Because that's gonna that's gonna make my job editing a lot harder. A lot harder. Go check out Nene. You can go investigate if you want. I don't know why you talking shit. Go investigate. Every time Chloe like just go investigate. That's all you got to do. Go investigate. Seriously. See, now it's like, oh no, I want to stay with you. You can't have it both ways. If you're gonna be in here, you got to be quiet.
Um, so, but basically, in reference to just making, you know, the picnics in this area has, you can guarantee that you have one or more um, Frankie Beverly and May's songs. It's really good that you have.
Okay, you do the show then. How about that? Come do the show. We'll take a break for once, and you host the entire show since you want to talk so much.
Yeah. So, but in reference to having, that, uh,
Let me take over because you
yeah,
struggling. You
you're
struggling. Let me
right.
let
I
me let me
am.
take over. That's now you know why I don't let the girls be in here when we're doing a show because that's how distracting they are. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have to figure out like suddenly what I recorded the first rodeo
Sounds better.
sounds better. Yeah, I'm glad I had the recorder going in the background. So anyway, boy, that segment just all fucked up. Just all fucked up. You know? This is all fucked up. Really. 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 I'm not interested in doing another take either. We're just gonna keep going. It's live. Fuck it. We're just gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep going. So anyway, on another note, speaking of music, Jane's Addiction. Saw the stuff that went down with them. For those of you that's not aware, these guys basically ended up canceling a show after their lead singer Perry Farrell tried to punch guitarist Dave Navarro. I'm sure by now a lot of you guys had saw the footage, but it's kind of one of those half cocked. I want to punch you, but instead I'm just gonna try to settle for maybe getting you in the chest, maybe kind of getting you on the arm a little bit around the bicep. It was kind of one of those type of deals. Security had to step in. The bassist player stepped in, trying to de-escalate things. And seeing that footage, I was just reminded, wow, I've been watching these guys since the 90s, and here we are in 2024. Perry Farrell is 65, 66 years old. The rest of the guys are in their late 50s. They're a couple of years away from hitting 60. And, we're seeing this type of rhetoric play out before our eyes at this stage in their lives and career. This should basically be about, this is easy money. Let's just get out there. Let's do what we need to do and entertain these guys. We're one of the few, we're one of the only bands that's still able to go out there and perform. We don't need to rely on any AI, laptop bullshit. We can just get out there, do what we need to do, and do it very well. We can hold up with some of today's acts, and yet we have all this rhetoric that had came about at this show in Boston. It happened on Friday the 13th. Now, a statement was put out there by the band apologizing and just pretty much letting the fans know, hey, these next couple of shows that we got going down, these are canceled. So as far as trying to get a refund, you guys can definitely get your refund by contacting these people here. So, but the wife, Perry Farrell's wife, she tried to shed a little bit of light on the situation. And you're reading this, what she's saying, and you're going, okay, I kind of get what you're saying here, but yeah, I still feel as though there's a lot that's at play. So I'm not really buying 100% that like so bullet points of what Perry Farrell's wife said. He's dealing with tinnitus and he's been feeling a little bit under the weather. This combined with the fact that Perry also felt that he was being drowned out by the music. Everything was just mounting on a nightly basis. And what you saw of him lashing out at Dave Navarro, he pretty much reached his boiling point. I mean, that's basically it
Yep.
in a
In a nutshell,
nutshell.
what she said.
In a nutshell, what she said. So you're trying to take all of this in, and you can't help but go, well, anybody that has done their fair share of attending concerts, especially going to concerts pretty early, now we've definitely been to our fair share of concerts. We're going, yeah, there's usually a sound check before the actual show.
Mhm.
And so anything that needs to be done, like that's the time and everything. And usually if there's some last minute adjustments that needs to happen once the band takes the stage, guaranteed it's usually fine-tuned within the first 2-3 songs max. I know when I had saw Soundgarden, for example,
Mhm.
there was the sound stage crew. They were getting everything hooked up, and then once they took the stage, I remember they were still kind of fine tuning things a little bit. And when they went into the first couple of songs, I remember Chris Cornell, he gestured to his sound engineer guy, hey, kind of drowning out here. And they eventually fixed the levels. I remember the bass player, he kind of gestured and he was able to do his thing. So, to hear all of this, I'm just going, okay, part of me wants to believe this, but then I am at least well aware, and I know a lot of you guys that know your music, you're well aware of the history that's gone on there with Jane's Addiction, particularly between Dave Navarro and Perry Farrell. You just can't help but go, okay, the tensions, all of that, but then it seems like there's some demons that maybe have resurfaced here. Either way, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look
No,
good.
it's never a good look when you're essentially on stage performing and then go ahead and then have a shoving match or punch somebody. It's just not a good look, and especially with this day and age of everybody's got a cell phone. And I'm sure millions and millions of people now have seen the fact that you essentially had, you know, whatever disgruntled differences and all of that you've had. So it's not just, oh yeah, hearsay at a show.
Mhm.
It's all over the world
Right.
now that essentially you guys can't hang on to your tempers. So funny note is, even when I was growing up, I never really, because I'm not a huge follower in reference to Jane's Addiction. I think I liked one or two of their songs when I was in high school. Um, but for me, I always thought because the band had, it was an all male band, that it was James Addiction, not Jane's Addiction. So until about an hour ago, I thought it was James Addiction, not Jane's Addiction. So that's a so funny little thing there, funny
look at
little
the
quirk.
look at the ramifications, and shout out to Mish. Look at the ramifications of this though, because I don't think many people are going to be bringing this up, which is this, and that is Jane's Addiction going forward. I want everybody to think about this. By what just happened on stage, now it's going to be a situation where Dave Navarro and or the other band members, you know what? Fuck y'all. I don't care if it's live. I don't care if it's live. I'm going to keep going, damn it. Because I'm a professional. I know how to do this. I know how to fucking do this. I got dogs barking in the background. I got the Commanders game playing, but that's okay.
Oh my god.
Right, right. I mean, my editing is going to be so fucking fun later. It's okay. It's okay. I'm leaving it all in. I'm leaving it all in. But no, seriously, I want everybody to think about this. Now going forward, Jane's Addiction members are going to be like, this nigga acting like this?
Right.
Okay, look, I need some guarantees.
Mhm.
I need some guarantees that something like this, I need some reassurances that something like this is not going to happen again, because I rely on these hands,
Mhm.
to perform. So if
They
anything
make money.
happens, trust me, there's going to be some litigation wise, there's going to be some new language that's going to be put out there
Yes, there
that
should be.
right, because you're fucking with people's money at the end of the day. You're fucking with people's money.
They are paying you to perform a service, which
Yes.
is a concert.
Right.
And so when you do what you do and you are to
James, by the way, Mitch said James addiction sounds better.
It does, doesn't it?
It does sound better. It does sound better, actually.
And for real, until about an hour ago, I thought that was a real band. So
don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. When I was a teenager, I used to think it was called James addiction as well. And then I think there was like a HFS Lollapalooza. And then I saw like, oh, the flyers for it. And I was like, oh, it's James. You know,
as in Jane.
As in, right. Because I thought maybe they were kind of spoofing off of Aerosmith a little bit there. Jamie's got a gun. And I thought they were kind of right. So okay, James addiction. Like, okay, cool. And then when I ultimately saw the flyer, I said, oh, okay. Okay, so don't feel bad. Like Alice in Chains. Right. I used to think it was Alice in Chains.
Okay.
And then when I saw their logo and all that, it was Alice in Chains. Okay, so there's a person named Alice that's actually in chains, right? And then I used to think, Mish got it. I also used to think Allison Chains, like Alanis Morissette or something like that.
Yeah, or just an Allison.
Yeah. You know, yeah. I used to fuck those names up back in the day. Just imagine 13, 14-year-old me in high school. And I'm like, hey, I like that Allison Chains. And like, who? I'm trying to impress you. Yeah, I know my rock. You know. True story. I actually said that one time. I said, which is some group of people I was trying to impress. And I was like, hey guys, I got this picture 13-year-old me with an afro, freckles, and you know, pimples and all that. I'm like, hey guys, how about that new Alice in Chains album, huh? How about that Dirt? And they were like, who? You know, Alice in Chains. It was like, it's Alice in Chains. Yeah, that's what I said, of course, yeah. And I walked away just going, fucking idiot. That's like fucking idiot. Yes, freckles, pimples, and all, afro. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. Don't. It was stupid. But you know, the fucking that James Addiction shit though. I know the wife tried to do damage control. Yeah. God bless her. But whatever's going on,
it's more than the sound check.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
grant you, even if it was a couple of shows. You know, it just no, it's more than that. I'm sorry, you can't tell me it's just that.
Yeah. And then if that's not crazy enough for this week as far as rock news goes, then you got this shit that's going on with Dave Grohl and his whole infidelity shit. I mean, look, I never looked at Dave Grohl as a role model. Let me just first begin by saying that, okay? I never looked at him as a role model. Never even considered him for one, right? I mean, good music. I think the greatest testament that we all can agree on with Dave Grohl is, wow, you were able to step from behind the shadows, being a drummer, go form your own band, and be as popular as Nirvana. And I'm just looking at that and I'm going, man, you could almost make an argument that Dave Grohl, just as a drummer, is right up there with Phil Collins and what Phil Collins was essentially able to do.
Yes.
Genesis, and then look, I'm thriving as a solo artist, right? So like you could make an argument Dave Grohl was kind of like within that realm, right? So I've always admired him, and the fact that he's a local a local boy. You know, he's born and raised from out here. Like okay, cool.
Mhm.
But this whole infidelity shit, I'm going, ah, dude. And then the way he tries to justify it with that lame ass post on social media.
That was lame.
That was one lame ass post. I'm not, you all got to just go out of your way, read this shit. But it's just funny when you read this, right? I'm supposed to read this post with a straight face going, you know, that Dave Grohl, he might have slid his dick into another woman and committed adultery, but god damn it, I love the fact that he's gonna take care of that kid. You know, it's like nah. And then you've got these reports that's floating around where apparently he is feeling justified because the wife was flirting with her tennis coach player, and so it's, well, if you weren't flirting, I would. No, that's just a half cocked ass. That's just a lame ass excuse to try to justify your actions. He's
Mhm.
got this apparent history, alleged history of sleeping around on other women in the past.
And his
Talked
wife.
on his wife, talks a really good game about, oh, parenthood, it changes you. It's like, okay, so in your case, I guess because the kids kept coming, you started to find your wife unattractive, or you know, whatever the case may be, and you just decided, you know, you needed to have a side piece or whatever. But you know, look, we all got problems. I'm not judging the man. We all got problems. Nobody's perfect, but let's not try to act like what you're doing is fucking noble.
Yes.
How about, you know, really owning up and
Mhm.
going, yo, what I did here was so fucking wrong. it's it's you know, I'm embarrassed for him too, Mitch, because it's like, dude, you know, what the fuck, right? You know, he's got that song, There Goes My Hero. It's like, I wouldn't be playing that for the next little bit, right? Because once kids are involved, you got to think about them.
Mhm.
It's not about you anymore. I might not be a parent. I might be a dog parent, but I'm, you know, but hey, that's the next best thing, right? But I might not be a human parent. You know, I might not have a human kid, but just common sense. It's like, once you have a kid, your life as you know it, that is it, dude. Your life is all about those kids until they're 21.
Mhm.
So guess what? Oh, I want to dip my noodle, and you gonna have to chill on that shit. You're gonna have to chill on that until those kids are at least halfway through college. And then look, if you feel at that point, okay, I really can't work things out with the wifey. I really feel I'm going in a different direction. This is no more. Okay, then y'all sit down. Then y'all sit down and you do what you need to do, right?
If you feel like you need
I'm
to,
not saying you got to be,
no,
look,
no,
for the record, I'm not saying you got to be trapped in that relationship slash marriage. I'm just
right.
saying you want to make sure you're doing right by the kids. If you think, like, if you really love that person, you say you love that person. Okay, well, my question is, why are you cheating on them? If you say you
Mhm.
love that person, then why are
Right.
you cheating on them? Right? Now, granted, some people have a lapse in judgment. Some people, I get it. I truly get it. But after that first rodeo of cheating, and you're
And she forgave you.
and she forgave you, or he forgave you, then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, let me make sure from here on out I am fucking on point. I have seen the light. Oh, hallelujah. Jesus don't touch me. You know, uh, you know, like, she's lucky that, or rather Dave Grohl, he's lucky that she wasn't black,
Hmm.
because remember what happened with Al Green. When Al Green, let me tell you something, folks. A lot of people forget this story. Al Green went the gospel route. He went. I ain't talking about the congressman, by the way, right? I'm talking about the singer. Al Green went the gospel route after his wife caught him cheating. And what she did, she quietly just waited until he, you know, got done doing whatever. And then he was sleeping on his stomach. And so she went into the kitchen. She made a hot boiling pot of grits, and she poured that bitch all on his ass. And after that, yo, he seen light. So, Dave Grohl lucky that wasn't the sister, cause they'd have got his ass good.
Yes. Yes. Agreed. Jesus.
Yeah.
But
It's sad. It's
it's
sad. It's sad.
it is. And and unfortunately the worst part about it is as adults, you have your own thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But these kids are caught in the middle.
Right.
I mean, now grant you eventually, oh well, we have a half sister.
Yeah.
Okay, once the hurt is over and all that, then of course acceptance. But still, now that's a lot to go through and grow through. No pun intended.
To your point about the kids and all that, the kids, their accounts are deactivated, and I get that.
I wouldn't want to have an account right now either.
No. Can you just imagine the
No.
trolling?
Yes.
Oh my God.
On a minute-to-minute basis.
Oh my God. The suicide tendencies that's possibly there as well.
I would have deactivated them.
Yeah.
Even if the kids didn't deactivate them, which some of them probably didn't.
Yeah.
The parents should have done that already.
They should have done it. Yeah, I agree.
Because just the thing as a whole, there should be no reason that they would be exposed to that. They're going to get it enough in their day-to-day lives, school, and what have you.
Yeah.
People who know who their father is.
Yeah.
So, and kids can be cruel.
I got another confession to make. Fuck the rules. When your friend comes in, how I drool. I will do anything to screw. I will get you pregnant, 'cause I'm cool. I'm terrible. I know. I'm terrible. Look here. Speaking of kids, now I'm seeing conflicted reports. I would have to rely on you guys, but I'm seeing one report that's saying, and I don't know if it's a rumor that was started, because nowadays all this misinformation shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing one report. This was apparently a friend of the daughter's, but then I'm seeing another report that's going, no, apparently this was a friend
of him and the wife.
Him and the wife that goes back to 2017. Exactly. That's rough. So in either case, when it's all said and done, look, he just dipped his noodle in a woman, produced a kid. This has shades of Gene Simmons. This has shades of Arnold Schwarzenegger with the nanny.
Yep.
This has shades of, look, if that woman wants half, she's entitled to it. Whatever she decides she wants to do.
Thus, and she's no longer wearing her wedding ring.
Right.
Out in public.
Right. More power to her. Look, it takes two to tango, obviously.
Yep.
I can't help but go this route, but you kind of can't help but stop and think about it, right? Which is, it's times like these you need Roe versus Wade again. You see what I did there? That's another food for. Okay, cut it out. I'll stop. I'm sorry, but no, seriously, Roe versus Wade. I'm not saying that. Hey, you got pregnant? No problem. Doctor will see you now. But whatever plans this woman might have had, just think about those teenage girls that's out there. They get into it hot and heavy for the first time with, their boyfriend. They're taking all the necessary precautions that they need to and everything. They're taking those contraceptions, but look, not everything's foolproof, right? And, sometimes shit happens. And now, you got a kid coming.
Can't do anything about it.
Yeah, you can't do anything about it now because of what's going on there, politically wise. It's like, man, this person didn't ask for it. And then, this, you just can't help but wonder with this woman that got pregnant.
Would she still have produced the baby without with the new, it's now in the States.
Right. Right. You know, it almost kind of has me going in regards to Dave Grohl's thought process. Like, I'm curious like that. I'm sorry, y'all, but I just can't help but think like little nuances like that. Like, did Dave go, hey, look, you know, it's against my religious belief. It's against my faith as far as abortion goes. Like, you know, I don't want that. I want for you to carry this child. I will take care of you. I will take care of this child. Y'all ain't got nothing to worry. I'm just curious, you know, what was that dialogue like in regards to that? How far along was this woman when she realized, oh shit, I'm pregnant? And you know, I'm curious. And we'll probably will never really know, sadly, but I just hope for the kids everything works out for the best. Because once kids get involved, that's when it gets really fucking ugly. Yeah, it got me wondering about a Chris Jericho NDA myself, Mish. I'm telling you, like, you know, I'm wondering that. Hey, not to get too political, but how about that debate, y'all? How about that debate? Fighting in the corner, you know.
No, it was more.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Look. I ain't telling y'all something y'all don't already know. All I'm saying is, watching that debate, that shit said, okay, so I can have this brand new 85-inch flat screen Sony television with this Tamaha Hashibishi sound system machine. You know, I got Netflix subscription for life, and I get to watch in the maximum highest quality that's possible. I get 5-year warranty service if anything goes down. I got tech support available 24/7. I got all this. And in the other corner, I got a $5 80-inch flat screen TV that may or may not come on. Never mind the wiring that's going on in the back. It's just, you know, you'll get used to it.
Up, it may not be.
You'll get used to seeing all that exposed wires. You'll get used to that. So yeah, and it's from Temu, right? It's from Temu. That TV's from Temu. All I'm saying, what should be a clear-cut choice, it ain't so clear-cut.
Nope, because most people are still as divided as ever.
It ain't so clear-cut. I was talking about this in my radio production class the other day because my professor was like, hey, did anybody see the debate? What did you guys think about the debate? And you know, she went on ahead and she was like, okay, let's go around. She was like, Lee, what did you think about the debate? I'm like, oh,
I didn't watch it.
I'm like, no, she's cool. She's cool like that. So
no, well, no, for real. He watched some of it.
No, I watched
oh, you actually did go back and watch it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I watched it. Because remember when I was fixing the toilet, we had a toilet issue earlier this week where I had to go inside, open up the tank, and I basically had to remove. Y'all know that little pump thing. You know, once the water reaches a certain level, that little pump thing that's on the far left hand side, that's supposed to, okay, right? I got it from here. Like, we're set. We're good. That shit kept acting up. So turns out it was just rusted and I had to replace that. So while the debate was on downstairs, I had the debate playing in the bedroom as well.
Oh.
So I was able to hear everything that was going on while I was, I was able to hear everything. That's why if you kind of notice, every single time he opened his mouth, I kind of like disappeared to fix the toilet. You get it? You get it? But no, I told the professor, I said, yeah, my thoughts, I had the whole class cracking up because I did my Trump,
Oh, I bet
I
that
did
you
my
had
Trump,
them cracking up
I
with
did my
that.
Trump impersonation, and I had them cracking up. And I polled people on Twitter, and we had like almost 200 people that cast their vote. And I was sharing with her the results, and it was so interesting how it kept going back and forth, right? Because y'all, one point Harris was leading by a slight little margin, and then like before I went to bed, after putting that poll out, it was dead even. I wake up in the morning, it's dead even. Throughout the day, Trump's getting the lead. Then it goes back to Harris, and it just kept flip flopping like that. This poll only had active for 24 hours. So at the end, Trump won by like 5 points. I was like, whoa, like, yeah, this is still pretty, close to the point of, what everybody else is saying. And then YouTube was interesting. YouTube gave him the same options and all that. Trump won. So I don't know if there's more Republicans on YouTube or what. Now, Trump didn't win decisively on YouTube, but it was a substantial margin, right? And I want to link this back to what I've been experiencing in my classes on campus this semester, because I find this to be just whoa. So we're talking about, here's where I kind of like get past all the silliness with the dogs, the cats, the eating, and all that other function. By the way, if you want to eat some really good dogs, Mish will back me up on this. You want some really good dogs? Go to Chicago, Vienna. Get yourself a Vienna hot dog. Get it right. Take it from one Chicago native, right, to the masses out there that aren't natives. You want a really good dog to eat? Go to Chicago. That's all I gotta say. Go to Chicago. Go to California. California, yeah, California. A lot of people
California has Vienna.
No. California, as far as like,
Oh,
yeah, hey, come to California because we're known for our hot dogs.
oh,
California makes really good hot dogs too.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
California makes really good hot dogs too. Oh, by the way, I'm hearing rumors. Trying to find um I'm trying to find something here news related wise. But how about that news about Norman Reedus? It's rumored that he's gonna be null and Venom the Last Dance. For those of you that don't know, Null is like this ultimate, he's like the granddaddy of symbiotes. Like everything started with him, apparently. He's like the Jesus of the symbiote race or whatever. So I don't know how true that is. It's supposed to be in theaters October 25th. Hopefully we'll get a full-blown trailer in the next week or two that's going to show us what's going on with that. But I was talking about the dogs eating cats and all that. So you got all that silliness that's going on, right? Relish and mustard. Yeah. I found as I've gotten older, in regards to my hot dogs, relish, mustard. I'm like Clint Eastwood now.
Ew.
A man just got no reason to put cheese and chili and all that shit on a hot dog. I'm at that point now. I started adopting. I'll either eat my hot dogs now with mustard, or if I'm feeling frisky, I'll do mustard and relish. I won't do anything. I won't do anything else. Like I have to crave a really good chili dog. And when I do want a chili dog these days, see, I'm weird. I either want to make the chili dog at home, or if you find me a really, really and trustable, damn good food truck vendor. Because I think the best chili cheese hot dogs is from a really good vendor. Now, what do I mean by a really good vendor?
Someone won't get you sick.
Yeah. God damn, she knows me well. She read my mind exactly. I'll never forget out here, we had a Fox 5 report. And they were doing an investigation on the hot dog vendors. And they showed this one woman that went around the corner of this building from her food truck. She pulled her pants down, and they blurred it out, obviously, but they showed her defecating around the side of this building. And then she goes back to the food truck. And as she's walking back to the food truck, she's just wiping her hands on her pants or whatever, right? And she is touching the food again. And so Fox 5, the reporter, they just kind of like came from out of nowhere. And they was like, hey, we just watched you use the bathroom around the corner there. And, seems that what you were doing over there was definitely unsanitary. Just curious, do you have a sink and some soap in there? What's going on? And man, she was putting up the hand. She didn't want to comment. She ended up shutting her joint down and drove off.
So sorry, closed for business.
I was like, damn. But see, look, I feel sorry for Jose, George, and Mike now, because when they, are spending their lunch hour getting them hot dogs. Oh man, this hot dog's extra banging today. It's like, yeah,
Ew.
that's a little bit of fecal matter. It was on there.
Ew.
That's what you're tasting, brother. You taste a little bit of that fecal matter, right?
Ew.
But no, thinking about the whole, cats and all the silliness that came from the debate. I'm looking at what's going on, and now we're hearing the stuff about the immigrants. Immigrants this, immigrants that, immigrants this, immigrants that. And my whole thing is, well, not for nothing, but we had that shooting that went down in Georgia. That didn't involve no immigrant.
Right.
The shooting that took a teacher and a couple like that. That didn't take. I'm saying all this to bring up this very valid point. Stay with me, y'all, because I don't like talking politics like that. But I mean, we're getting closer to the season, and some things we can't avoid, unfortunately. So I've got a loaded up college semester this fall. I'm doing almost damn near 20 credit hours worth of classes. Some of my classes are in person. Guess what your man has been seeing so far since he's been going back to classes? Take a wild guess.
People?
No. I just gave you all a hint. Because I said the stuff about the guns, school. Okay, right. Take a guess at what I've been seeing since I've been back doing my thing. Lack of security.
Oh yeah.
Lack of security. It fucking you guys have no idea how irritating and how like dumbfounded I am that I can just walk up on a college campus.
Yeah.
And we like, okay, where's security? Where let me finish. Hold that thought. Let me finish. It's like, where's security? My guys are supposed to be patrolling. What's going on here? I should be seeing somebody in a vehicle. And having that security background that I have for like almost 10 years, you already know how I'm operating, babe. I'm looking for where the cameras are, right? I'm already looking for the patrol vehicles. I'm getting an idea on, okay, every 90 seconds you coming around. Okay, cool. Are you coming inside the building? Are you patrolling? Like, okay, we doing a lockdown once we get into the classroom? What are we doing? Are we going over safety measures for in case something weird happens? This is what needs to be done. Like, what exactly are we doing here to make sure that we all gonna be all right? And there has just been a fucking lapse in security protocols that it fucking baffles me to the point. I'm not saying I'm being paranoid. I just have that mindset of, if some shit goes down, what we doing? That's all I care about. Some shit goes down, what we doing? To the point, I'm in my plant science class on Saturday. So once we all are in the classroom, that's it. There's no windows that we can
look out.
There's no emergency door, like a second door. So if somebody wants to come in and they decide they want to light our ass up like the 4th of July, well, unless we all are going to try to charge and, the few that make the sacrifice to, like, unless something like that happens, we all fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found that to be so, and this is just one campus. I need you guys to understand something. For the weekends that I have this plant science class, I'm going to a completely different campus in a completely different city. Most of my classes I'm either doing remotely or I'm doing just down the street because my college has more than one campus. So I'm looking at what's happening where I went Saturday. Ooh, no bueno. I look at what's happening when I go to the other campus during the work week, and I'm going, okay, security is a little bit more visible, but I still don't feel quite safe right down to the point. It's the same thing in the classroom. It's the same thing I just described with the. So both got a long way to go. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Both are wrong. Both being the former president and
Vice president.
the vice president. Both got some work to do as far as reassuring Americans, in my eyes at least. Hey, make no mistake about it. This whole immigrant thing, like, but we need to make sure that our schools. I need to hear more talk about the schools because as a college student, I'm seeing all this stuff, and I can only imagine what the fuck is happening at high schools and junior high schools. I mean, beyond what I just talked about that's happening in Georgia, right? I can only imagine just from a security standpoint is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm noticing what I'm noticing at the college level, what the fuck is happening on the lower levels? That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Well, the other funny story is this was in the midst of, I guess it was in the midst of COVID, but we were toward the end of it.
Mm.
And we went into your current campus that you're in most.
Mm-hmm.
And grant you wasn't real busy at that point because generally most everything at that time was virtual.
Right.
But still, we went into the campus. We went into we went into a couple different buildings. There was no ask where you go. Well, actually, there was somebody who we asked where where a certain building was,
Mm-hmm.
but there was no, hey, what, you got an ID, you know, there was nothing. There was no security at all. In reference to make one feel safe. If need be.
Mm.
So I say that to say this in reference to protection in certain areas, we have so much more to do
Mm-hmm.
in schools, and because here's what happens. This is essentially the rinse repeat. Something happens, security gets beefed up for, like on steroids for a couple of years. Then slowly but surely starts to kind of relax because things are passe.
Mm.
Then something happens again.
Mm.
And then it's rinse repeat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is. I don't see a lot of proactive. I see a lot of reactive.
You summed it up perfectly. More needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
More needs to fucking happen. And that's just for starters. Just marinate on that. Marinate on that, y'all. I'm not gonna go too deep in the weeds, but like, honestly, if you want to pick my brain, just pretend we're sitting at a bar. We're talking about the debate. You're asking me my thoughts. Just fuck the whole political affiliation. I'm an independent, by the way, so I can go either way. But if you're picking my brain and you're saying to me, Lee, what did you think about the debate? I'm honestly saying to you, well, it would seem pretty obvious who the winner is, right? But to follow up on Tammy's point, America is still so divided right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
More
honestly,
divided than you think they are.
more divided, right? And not to mention, there is, you know, the old saying, "Where's the beef?" Well, not for nothing, but on both sides, there is a lot of stuff that, you know, oh, okay, I hear you, but there's not enough substance.
Mhm.
That there's not enough substance. So just marinate on that. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks, but ain't that much more to go.
No,
The last show that we did, I'm trying to think, did we give them the positive news as far as my health update? I'm just trying to think. I know I might have
I think
mentioned it
so.
on the Monday show, but did we mention it on the last? Did we mention the health update on the last whatchamacall? On the last wrestling with the topics? It kind of,
I don't.
so we didn't do a
I
wrestling with the
thought you did,
topics
but I'm
last.
not
I
completely sure.
so I just want to make sure we're covering all bases as far as health update goes. I don't know if I mentioned this already, at least for this show. I know I mentioned it on the Monday shows, but I have a feeling I maybe didn't mention it on this show. Um, Rewind it a little bit. So what was it? August was coughing up some blood. Scared me. Tammy hears about it. She's freaked out. Set up a doctor's appointment. They do a full CT scan. Then I get a referral to a lung specialist within my primary care provider. Primary care provider goes, "There's a spot on your lung. Let's do this." He goes through the questionnaire, family history, medical, all that. I'm freaking out. I'm thinking it's the big C. Tams is like, "So well, yeah, what are we gonna do here? Like, what's the next step?" Doc is like, "I'm gonna try these antibiotics. Let's see if this works. Follow up in a couple of weeks after you take your antibiotics. Follow up with another scan. Then we'll go from there." Like, okay, cool. So do that. At this point, what was it? I think it was almost 2 weeks ago. Yeah, almost,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
been about 2 weeks.
at least 2 weeks ago. The See, you all would have got this last week had we done a show, so it would have been more in sync to when it went down and all that. So I get the results back. I can't really make sense out of what I'm seeing. I got to rely on a doctor to hit me up. Doctor puts in a notation with the scan. Hey, my suspicions were correct. You were suffering from pneumonia. So he's like, you know, you're in the clear. You know, we don't need to follow up for with our phone call. You're in the clear. You're good to go. That's all I gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it had got me curious. It's like, wow, I wanted to understand. Like, okay, so why do people die from pneumonia? Like, what the hell? I'm thinking about James Brown and a few other people that died from pneumonia. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So to basically learn that, you know, over time there's a buildup. You know, the crap is
The buildup of
a
mucus.
buildup of mucus, and
Mm-hmm.
basically it hardens
Mm-hmm.
and it obscures the airways
Yep.
to the point that a person basically dies from asphyxia as a result of the pneumonia. It's like, it's very interesting, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So yeah, you think about that commercial that's running around with the dog, with not the dog, the wolf. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, but I'm just a cold, you know, and you think about, but it's just a pneumonia. Like, you should be able to knock. No,
No.
apparently, one thing I learned from all of this, and I really want for people to take this to heart. I don't want for people to go, well, that's not going to happen to me. It's like, look, I'm young. I'm in my early 40s. So, and there's no telling how long I was walking around with pneumonia, but we suspect that I probably was walking around with this for at least a couple of months, because Tammy noticed me having many coughing fits
Mm-hmm.
in previous months. So there's no telling, you know, how long exactly I was running around with it. But my main point that I want to really emphasize to you guys: listen to your body. I wish I could take some things back. Like, I did it right. I tried over the counter medicine. I tried Mucinex. I tried Z Packs. I tried, you name it. I fucking tried it. And I still had a nasty coughing fit, whole 9 yards. So I wish I would have, after all of that was exhausted in a timely manner, I
Mm-hmm.
wish I would have said, okay, now I need to go see an expert
Mm-hmm.
rather than wait until what's this blood doing coming out of my mouth? Like,
Mm-hmm.
right. So live and learn. Hopefully my experience helps you guys. That's the main point of me bringing this up is I just want for you guys to listen to your body, do better, stay on top of that shit. Cause damn pneumonia. Nah, your man ain't trying to go out like that. Fuck that. SmackDown.
Agreed.
SmackDown had their USA Network premiere this week. Looked from what I can remember, production wise, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I see that we're still bleeping uh when the crowd is, yelling out some profanities there. uh
Yeah.
um it's the little things I noticed though. It almost felt like I was watching to a degree a different production compared to Monday Night Raw. This felt more crisp.
Mm-hmm.
It felt more loose.
Energetic.
It felt definitely more energetic. I'm feeling the new logo. I'm feeling the new text. I'm feeling the new theme song from Megan Thee Stallion. I got a big crush on her. And she's now talking about possibly getting in the squared circle. Hey, I think she would do very well. I think she would do very well. Team her up with Naomi. Oh man, there's an interesting team right there. Pair her up with Naomi, Jay Cargill, Bianca Belair. Call that sh-
Mm-hmm.
call that shit call that shit, I don't know, Black Swirl. I don't know. I don't know. Something if In Vogue don't mind, I don't know. Just call it something. Just call it something sexy, right? But anyway,
Well, we had a name for Jake Cargill and Lord have mercy, Bianca Belair. We at WrestleMania we said they should call themselves Black Excellence.
yeah. I'm happy they got the tag belts back, by the way. I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy they got them. They should have never lost them to begin with. Uh, how about the fact that when SmackDown went off the air, we saw that executive producers, uh, Paul Levesque and I don't know, Lexi, something. There was some other name that was there. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Mm.
You didn't see that?
No, I was asleep by then.
Yeah. I saw that. I said, "Oh shit, we're making sure we get them TV credits, huh?" Triple H trying to update his IMDb profile.
Right.
I'm like, okay. Hey, that looks good on that LinkedIn profile, brother.
It does. It does. It does.
I'm like, go ahead, man. It was it was good. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. SmackDown's good. I think it's gonna do just fine on the USA Network. I'm already seeing those little changes. We didn't get a chance to talk about this. I know I didn't get a chance to talk about it on the Monday show, and I was disappointed because I put it in the thumbnail
Mm-hmm.
and I put it in the synopsis, and I did not talk about it.
Uh-oh. What's that?
Raw moving to 2 hours.
Oh wow. That is interesting that you didn't talk
Folks,
about
I'm getting older. I'm getting older. It happens. It happens. I'm getting older. So Raw goes back to 2 hours. And I want to look, you said something that was very interesting when I brought that up to you a couple of days ago. You said, and I quote, Raw has not been 2 hours since we started dating. And I had to stop and think about that. And I'm going, holy shit, she's right. I'm like, I can't believe it's been that fucking long
Yeah.
that Raw has been a 3 hour since 2012. It's been a 3 hour fucking show. A 3 hour tour. A three
Mm-hmm.
hour tour. So I cannot tell you. Wow. So you just gave me another thought that I never even thought about before until now. So that means when I first began podcasting in 2011,
Mm-hmm.
Raw was still 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And wow,
Yeah, because you would go
wow.
off right after it, and it would be around 10 o'clock.
No, 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 no. It was still 9 to 11.
Oh, it was okay. Sorry, it
It
was
was still
still
9.
11,
Yeah.
but it started later.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Let me tell you something. I want to talk about this. I want you to talk about it from a viewer standpoint. I want to talk about it from a podcaster standpoint. I think that's a good way to do this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me set it up properly and then you go from there. And then let's see how everybody else feels. So, as a podcaster,
Mm-hmm.
the way I feel, I go, oh, thank God. Because for me, 3 hours is so goddamn draining.
Mm-hmm.
Even on those nights where, now look, granted, Raw is on WWE as a whole, they're on fire right now.
Mm-hmm.
They really are on fire right now as far as the content quality goes. There's
Yes.
still a few things where you go, but overall, I have not seen fans this excited
True.
in years.
I
I
actually
mean,
saw somebody with an actual WWE shirt on the other day, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah, I ain't seen that in a good minute. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it look, the WWE product is going in the right direction. Anytime you got me going, yo, I'm trying to get some tickets because the last
true."
WWE show that I saw was the WrestleMania,
Right, basically the Monday night before
the
WrestleMania.
Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania, CM Punk,
Undertaker.
CM Punk confronts Undertaker,
Mm-hmm.
where Paul Heyman is dressed up as Paul Bear.
Correct.
That show was fucking lit, man. That show was
Mm-hmm.
fucking lit.
The Rock was there. Was he? Wait a minute.
No,
No, he wasn't there.
no,
I'm sorry.
no.
I'm
Maybe in your dreams, honey. Maybe in your dreams. Yeah, you go ahead. You get that tofu ready for the Rock. Yeah. Give the Rock a nice piece of that pie too. Rock's gonna have some pie with that tofu. Look it up. One of the greatest skits ever. But as a content creator, I'm going, thank God. Like, if I could smoke a cigarette, I would smoke it right now. Cause the 3 hours, even when it's good, it's draining. It's very draining. And then you've got to do the whole process of, okay, look, I don't want to be as long-winded as the show. I'd hate to be talking about Monday Night Raw for an hour when the show was 3 hours, because now essentially, like, nah. And it's been touch and go. I gotta say, I'm not sucking my own here, but I gotta say, as far as 2024 goes, I've done a better job. And okay, let's try to be as in and out with the talk of Raw as possible. Let's do it to the point where, look, the motherfuckers that's tuning in, most of them watched it. They want to know reactions. Let's just, okay, let's not do the whole boom, 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 boom. This happened, boom, 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 boom. That happened. They want to know all, like, this ain't Sports Center, right? I ain't Michael Wilbon. I got the bald head, but I ain't Michael Wilbon. This ain't ESPN. You want to know all the nitty gritty details? Like, just go read something online, find out that way. That, we've done a better job condensing and then really trying to focus more on, okay, what's going out there, headline news wise and all that. But in the years prior, my God, I'll admit I struggled, especially on those nights. Mish can relate to this. Mish can relate to this very well with what he was doing in his respected endeavors that time on those Mondays. Heaven forbid you deal with a Monday night and the show fucking sucks.
mm-hmm.
And you going, yo, if there was ever a night I want to take the night off or I'm just not feeling it, yo, I know if I could do this show, I'm gonna be mostly quiet. I'm gonna be mellowed out. I'm gonna be in chill mode because what I saw was shit.
Yes.
Now just take that same everything I just told you and you got to be a one-man act such as what I do on the Monday shows. And you got to somehow maintain energy talking about a 3-hour piece of shit of a show. Very hard to do.
It is.
And it would reflect that. You could tell, okay, he's not really interested. Oh, but then once you get me talking about this topic over here, and that's like, now
I'm interested.
So from a content standpoint, I fucking love it. I love it. It makes my job so much easier because, and if I remember correctly, yes, when Raw does go to 2 hours in a couple of weeks, it's going to go from 8 to 10 p.m. I can't tell you how that news has me so happy, because I also go, wait a minute. You mean I get to go to bed at a decent hour? Or if I decide I want to hit the road for work, I can do it and still come home at a decent hour? Might be late, but I can still come home at a decent hour. Yes. You know, I'm fist pumping in the air. I'm doing my happy dance, right? Wait a minute. You mean I can finish the show and I can actually, rather than go, I'll edit tomorrow and release it tomorrow, I can just go, it's only 11:15. Yeah, this will be about quick 20 minutes. Let me just go ahead. So from all of those, from that standpoint, all of those standpoints, I'm happy.
Cool. As far as a viewer, I think they could be gearing a bit more towards a younger generation. You know, in reference to going off at a respectable hour. The other part of that is condensing the show makes a stronger product. And you don't have to stretch as much. You know, you can really do a bam, 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 bam type of thing and have the fans excited, stay excited about the full show, and leave going, wow. So the restructuring portion of this is good, and making it a shorter time. I mean, they are making some serious moves in reference to both brands, but in reference to the Raw Monday night, that I can't come up with a con about moving to 2 hours. Really, at all, I can't. I mean, you have a shorter watch time for you know, a shorter show for production value, a shorter watch time in reference to you can pack more in it because you have the roster to support that. You have the roster to support a 3-hour show. But doing it in 2 hours, you cut out all the fluff that maybe isn't quite necessary and get into more wrestling, which is what your company is about.
Right.
So I can't come up with a con.
2 cons jump out at me right now, and one of them is not Tony Khan. Cut it out. So one con is, okay, those that might have been featured semi-regularly, that's a little bit on the lower chain, kind of mid-chain-ish. Now they may not be featured as much. There are definitely going to be those that's not going to be incorporated in those 2-hour shows on the regular, because now this creates a situation where, okay, you want that TV time? Fucking go out there and earn it. Bust your ass and, you know, do whatever you got to do to get noticed on social media. And yeah, maybe we can circle back, incorporate you on a future show. The other thing that this creates as well, and this can be looked at as a positive, you know, I've said this on the show for a number of years. I can't remember if I even said this at the Awesome Con panel, because it would have been a great thing for me to say at the panel with Mish and Julian. I got to see what's going on with Julian too, because I'm curious about his reviews for the latest episode of Power Ghost. But my thought process for years, at least as early as 2014, I always felt that with Raw being a 3-hour show, what WWE really needed to do, particularly with the Raw brand, was alternate the roster to a certain degree. You know, one week you're going to see these guys. This story arc is going to continue on, bleeding into the next week, but we're going to alternate. We're going to see these guys. And then the very next week, we're going to flip it. We're going to see these guys. I always felt that they had the roster, so they got the depth. They could switch it up like that. Now, more than ever, that is how you need to do it. Now that Raw is going 2 hours, not to mention, and kudos to WWE, but we have seen them for months now take certain stars from the other shows, and okay, let's
migrate them.
Let's put them in here on NXT. Let's send them over here to SmackDown. Let's So I like that they're also doing that, more of that, please. But they definitely also, the key to the success for Raw, like if something is kind of going a little stale, or they need more time to do some tweaking for a particular angle or whatever, now more than ever, okay, let's switch it. Let's switch it. Let's go with a different team for this week. Let's go with this. Like, okay, we can still have Michael Jordan, but Scottie Pippen ain't going to be playing tonight. So instead, looks like Horace Grant is going to be the number 2 guy for Jordan. Like, do it that way, right? Now, here's another con. Let's talk business. Obviously, these deals with these advertisers is going to have to be restructured a little bit, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you don't have the airtime that you once did.
Right. So obviously, right. So sorry, folks, but instead of 99 Pizza Hut fucking commercials, now you're going to get
87.
Yeah, 87. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. We know you're irritated with those fucking commercials. We hear it all the time. But to make you guys feel better, we went from 99 to 87. That should help. Sorry for the inconvenience, what's the other one that's always every fucking commercial break? It's not even the progressive commercials anymore. It's the fucking Pizza Hut commercial. That annoying fucking Pizza Hut commercial with the white woman with the red hair, and her fucking hair is blowing in the goddamn wind, and she's got the fucking Pizza Hut personal box open with a fucking mini pizza and fucking wings, and her hair's blowing in the fucking wind, and she's eating the pizza. She's showing her teeth, or she's got this nice, seductive, cheerful, while she's biting into she's not even fucking biting and chewing. She's just fucking putting the shit in her mouth and just freezing and all that other fucking shit. I'm looking at that fucking commercial going, Jesus fucking Christ, not this goddamn commercial again. You guys are fucking killing me. And then I go, goddamn, I'm hungry, and I just ate not that long ago. I know my big black ass ain't got no business eating, right? Because, like, no, right? Like, I already had my meal. Yet, seeing that commercial pop up not once, not twice, 3 goddamn times in the same segment, every single segment. And they dropped from 99 to 87.
Oh my goodness. You don't think he has a problem with that commercial, do you? I mean, really. I think he did the whole segment verbatim. Next week he'll tell you exactly what she says in the commercial.
Then they showed the black woman with the braids. She bites into a melt, and the camera just gotta zoom in on her, like, "How's it taste? How's it taste, nigga?" You know, it's like she's not. She hasn't even chewed it. She just took a bite, and the camera's just zooming in on her and shit. Oh,
I think he feels better now.
yes, I do. Fucking Pizza Hut. Every goddamn look. Let me not even go there. I'm gonna go somewhere I ain't got. No, I'm gonna fucking go there. I'm gonna go there. Your man Pizza Hut out. If I see one more goddamn box of fucking Pizza Hut, I'm about to break a fucking. I'm about to break somebody's neck. All right. So football week 1. I said to the wife, I said, "Hey, thinking about getting some pizza." And we had already discussed, man, I'm tired of pizza. Like, no more pizza. And she said,
because of that Pizza Hut commercial, he wanted pizza.
It was wanted pizza. It's like, hey, here's my way of justifying it. Hey, week 1 of football's here. I bought some pizza. My wifey's like, yeah, sure. Like, okay. So I said, hey, text the moms and make sure she doesn't, bring any pizza. Sometimes she likes to pop up with pizza. So I go in the Pizza Hut app. I got 543 points. I'm like, oh, I did not know that. Let me redeem these bitches. So I go in, I get a free pizza, I get some free wings. I think I got another. No. So that was free with the points. What I ended up paying for was a stuffed crust pizza. So I do all that. I was like, don't forget to tell your mom. Da, da, da. Well, she she forgets.
No. So I actually had a couple of appointments, Mary Kay. So I'm not necessarily in front of my phone at all times. So we have a little bit of a snafu in reference to communication, because I saw one text message, but I didn't see the text message from him. So basically, I'm the quarterback, and the quarterback didn't know the first half of it, but then told the second half, which is what we were talking about in the first place. And so basically, there was a mix up in communication.
And as a result of that mix up,
we got 2 pizzas, wings, and a big box.
Your man ain't never seen so much goddamn pizza before in his entire life. I ain't never seen so much goddamn pizza before in my entire life. I said, what the fuck? I said,
and generally, in this house, pizza generally is welcome.
Look, it was so
bad.
Yeah.
That he texted me, I'm so mad. I'm like, okay.
And I followed it up with, look, you take this pie to work with you tomorrow, and you make sure all your coworkers dig in. Because I know in my heart it was going to go bad. Like, there was just no way, there's just no way we were going to get to all of that in a timely manner. A lot of that was going to go bad. So it was kind of like, one thing I did discover with eating it, though, one thing that I did discover recently, little tip for you guys. You want that pizza, Domino's, whoever, you want that shit tasting banging. You don't like how it tastes in the microwave doing that the day after, especially doing that whole limp dick shit, from the microwave, all soggy and shit, doing that limp dick shit. I got some really good advice for you. Put that bitch in an air fryer. Put that bitch in an air fryer for 350 degrees at 5 to 6 minutes. Oh man, you got the crisp restored, the crust, all of that. You'll thank me later. If you haven't tried it before, try it. Some of you that ain't got a air fryer yet, air fryer oven, get one. Get one. I highly recommend you get one. It is so much better than going with the oven, with the traditional oven, because first of all, especially if you got to pay for gas and electric, like that shit just like right? Like you really don't. Damn, I only cooked one time this month. It's like, yeah, yeah, right. So look into that. Trust me, you'll thank me later. You'll thank me later. Even like I think the latest was what 3 days later with pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Pizza 3 days later. Put it
Mm-hmm.
in the air fryer,
Yeah.
and it was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was on point.
It was.
Yeah, I fucking loved it.
It might have been, I don't know, maybe 10% not as crispy or, what have you. I mean, it's not like, okay, fresh out of the oven, but it is definitely 85 to 90% better, or 85 to 90% like it would have been delivered fresh and hot to you.
Yeah, yeah. Did you hear about the Shannon Sharp shit?
No, something about his phone wasn't broke.
It-
Well,
it-
that was him.
yeah,
But what was it about? What did
he was fucking a woman, and apparently he wasn't aware his phone was on Instagram Live. So no penetration was seen. You just hear him grunting. Uh, he sounds he sounds like Wolverine fucking. I don't know why, but I just always pictured.
Oh
I
my god.
I think the original X-Men cartoon fucked my head up a little bit because I used to always picture Wolverine and Jean Grey having sex, and I used to always picture Wolverine, Jean, and you just hear Shannon in the background, he just sounds like a fucking Doberman or something. He just, and you hear her, oh, hit it, Poppy, it's yours, Shannon. and at first,
Oh shit.
And at first, Shannon was like, I was hacked. He's saying all this shit. And then I guess once Shannon realized what the hell had actually went down, Shannon went on his nightcap joint the next day, and he pretty much was like, yeah, your man, I admit. And he basically was like, look, nobody was hurt. And Ocho, he's like, you sure about that, Unc? And Shadi was like, well, she might need an ice pack down there, but
Damn.
and yeah, because you heard him thrusting, that was for sure. I mean, it sounded like she was getting stabbed.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was
That would explain the picture that I saw with this shit-eating grin on his face,
yeah,
and said, "No, my phone wasn't hacked."
yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
I came across some additional audio. This hasn't quite made the trends just yet, but I came across some bonus audio of Shannon Sharp and his little Instagram fiasco. Let's give this a listen.
Well, there you have it.
On that note, programming notes. I'll be with you guys Monday night, September 16th, after Raw goes off the air. So that should be very, very good. We'll get into some fun little headlines on there. So join me for that. And yeah, we'll definitely do another wrestling with the topics next weekend for you guys for sure. Want to give a shout out to some of our friends of the show and some of our sponsors. Love these guys, love them all tremendously. First off, give a shout out to our sponsors over at navarropro.com. If you ever feel like shopping online just doesn't hit the mark these days, that's about to change. Want to introduce you to navarropro.com. Whether you're looking for the latest tech, home essentials, or a style refresh, they've got it all at navarropro.com. navarropro.com. Handpicked to meet your standards, fast shipping, top-notch quality and service you can rely on every single time. And trust me, folks, this isn't just another store. It is a shopping experience you'll love and keep coming back to again and again. Check them out, navarropro.com. Quality you can trust, experience you can love. We're also brought to you in part by delightfulfinds.com. That's spelled DEELITEFULFINDS, delightfulfinds.com. Discover a curated selection of premium skincare, makeup, and personal care products. Whether you're looking to enhance your glow, I know. Okay, well, I tell you what, Precious. Maybe you're not looking to enhance your glow. Maybe you're looking to indulge in their top tier hair and nail care. Lord knows we need to hook you up a little bit. Delightful Finds has it all. Experience luxury and quality with every product. Visit delightfulfinds.com today and transform your beauty regimen. Delightful Finds, where exceptional beauty begins. We're also brought to you in part by Japas.com. That's JIPAS, offering an incredible range of luxury items across countless categories, all at unbeatable prices, from fashion to beauty to advanced technologies and home essentials. Shop smart, live luxuriously. Visit japas.com today and experience affordable elegance. Japas, luxury within reach, just for you. Shout out to my man Axiom of alchemy.com. Great artwork. Check them out. Those of you interested in cannabis dispensary, starting up your own store, getting the licensing and all that done for a great low price, all 100% legal. Check out canaglobe.biz // sweet sensations, or give them a call at 702-767-0683. Shout out to my guys at Top Tier Financial Group.com. CPAs, enrolled agents, tax attorneys, tax resolution, tax preparation, wage garnishment, bank levies, tax lien removals, audit representation, bookkeeping. Put that company to great use for your needs, for all your tax purposes needs. Over 15 years of knowledge and experience in the industry to help you. Top tier financialgroup.com. Shout out to my guys over at ancientsupplements.store. Veteran owned business. Looking for some really good vitamin supplements at really great affordable prices, all made in the USA. 100% satisfaction guaranteed, or your money back. Look them up today. Shout out to friends of the show. Shout out to Miss Thomas and Joe Numbers of Wrestling Soup. I hope, on a side note, I don't know where Numbers is these days on social media. I did happen to listen to Soup this week, and apparently something went down there with Joe's cat. Hopefully, everything is on the up and up okay, because the show had abruptly came to an end, unfortunately. So, fingers crossed, throwing up a prayer. I don't know if Joe's reactivated his Facebook or if he's back on social media, but definitely sending thoughts to him and the little furry one. Hopefully, everything works out okay. And yeah, so anybody that doesn't know about that, I'm sure if he is on social media, hit him up, let him know you're thinking about him and all that. Shout out to Julian Cannon of Digiday and the Nocturnal. Like I said, I got to catch up on his power reviews because I want to know what he's been thinking about this second half of the final season. It's hard to believe, but basically we got 3 more episodes to go, and that's going to be it. I would have thought they would have extended it for sure to 13 or at least 15 episodes.
Does seem like it's a little quick.
It does. I mean, on the one hand, as a viewer, you go, well, I appreciate my intelligence not being insulted.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you guys just, okay, boom, boom, boom. But then on the other hand, with this pace and storytelling, are we really going to be able to cross out everything? Are we really going to be able to tie up all loose ends here? And I suspect not. I think, honestly, I'm going to make a bold prediction. You heard it here first. I think there's going to be, I'm going to give you guys actually three predictions. Three predictions. First prediction. I think there's going to be another Ghost Power spinoff show that may not necessarily involve Tariq. I don't quite see it involving Tariq. Tariq won't be at the centerpiece. He won't be the main star, but he'll appear from time to time. And I think this show may in some form be done in the style of BMF. Right? But with a Better Call Saul twist, if that makes sense. Now, what do I mean by that? For those of you that have watched Better Call Saul, you know that when the series begins, like with the season opener until you get to the final season, you usually begin with seeing Jimmy McGill, Saul Goodman in real time. And then they do the flashback and pretty much show you what. Now, we already know there's a new Power series that's going to be in development. It's going to be called Power Origins. And whether or not they're going to kind of go, a BMF slash Better Call Saul type of format that I'm describing, that remains to be seen. But I think there's going to be another show that is somehow going to be more in line with what I'm describing, that I'm not quite seeing full blown real time. I kind of feel as though we're going to drop in on something that happens in the very near future, but then it's going to rewind back to the present to show us how, because I'm having a hard time believing that they're really going to be able to tie up everything with Tariq. And then let's not forget, we got Joseph Sikora that's teasing, basically, we haven't seen the last of Tommy Egan. So that kind of gives me the impression that...
Meaning for Tommy's show or meaning for...
Well, Tommy's show is coming to an end, but he said we haven't seen the last. Okay. So that lets something's brewing. Well,
if they're doing the Origins one, that could be it. But you could do a spinoff with the Tejadas.
The third, which comes to my third point. Yes, and yes, you could. The third prediction I'm making, I think Omari Hardwick is coming back.
I wouldn't be shocked.
I think he's coming back. I just got this weird feeling. So we'll see where things go. But I just got this weird feeling something's been worked out. Now, whether or not that might involve him in the Origins joint, because many of us were pitching to Joseph Sikora and others, yo, you need to do this Origins joint like BMF. Like, you need to narrate, Omari needs to narrate, and then do the rewind. And Joseph was like, yo, that sounds like a badass idea. I'm fucking down for it. Like, let's see what happens, right? So he is hearing it, and let's not forget, he is executive producer of Power Force. So that he could easily relay that, especially if he ends up being a producer. He could easily have a say in how the thing gets formatted and all that. But yeah, those are my predictions. So we'll see what happens with that. Meanwhile, Be Kind Rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. Appreciate you guys that's been representing, checking out the shows for on demand, on the downloads, or maybe watching on the YouTube channel. If you haven't already, follow, subscribe, all that jazz helps a ton. You guys have no idea. Leave those ratings up on Spotify. That appears to be the new thing now. You can now leave a rating on Spotify. So if you've got access to Spotify, you can really help us become more discoverable by hitting up Spotify. And yeah, she's beautiful and a lovely Tammy. Lee Sanders here. Want to have some pizza? Wish it. Oh, you ought to be safe And most importantly, be kind to one another. We'll see you next go round. Take care, y'all.
Bye.